Morning, Yakima. Kyle, Lance, and Stash here from the Bearded Monkey. It's cold as hell and it's been snowing in Yakima. We're bored, so we came up with the Bearded Monkey Indoor Crit Course. What's the Bearded Monkey Indoor Crit Course? Well, that's where we take some of the nicest trail bikes on the market right now and smash them around the outside perimeter of our sales floor, trying not to crash into your repair bikes or any other brand new expensive gravel bikes that may be in stock. So, what bikes we got today to show them, Kyle?
Today we'll be testing the Gen 6 Fuel EX, the Gen 5 Fuel EX, the Transition Scout, the Specialized Levo, and anything else that we can find.
So this is very hazardous. The potential here to lose toes as they hook on tires or ladders. So far we've put pegs of pedals into the hardwood floors, lost traction transitioning onto the pavement, but it's a hell of a good time. Now this is a very official test. And that is because Strava will not GPS inside the store, so we are going back old school with the stopwatch. All right. Go.
Yeah.
New Gen 6 fuel. We tested the previous carbon Gen 5 version of the fuel. We tested the Transition Scout in a carbon frame, 27.5 wheels. It was the only 27.5 in the bunch. We tested the Specialized Levo, and we tested a Surly Ogre with a rigid suspension, upright BMX handlebars, and Ardent race tires on it. And a rack with a Thule bag on the back. And Kyle, what are your thoughts here?
I did not like the Surly. As far as the other bikes went, I really liked the two fuels, the new Gen 6s. They're both short and snappy in the corners. They both accelerated really well. Around the corners, they held traction really well, comparatively to the newer, or the older fuel, the Gen 5, which felt really long in the corners, and you felt really far forward on the bike. The Levo was, I think it was probably just the tires, but it was very slippery the whole time.
Yeah, so I will say that tires made a huge difference on this course in terms of confidence. So obviously the Ardents on the Surly were like riding on ice. The Butchers that you had on the Levo weren't much better. For as big as the lugs were, it's a pretty hard compound.
They were really slick.
And they were not hooking up on anything.
No.
And then even the Gen 5 fuel that we rode had a set of tires that had a season on them, and those were better, but you could certainly tell when transitioning from the wood to the concrete, the degradation and the stickiness on the tires and how much confidence that came coming off of it.
Yeah.
So we did back-to-back, we each rode both of the bikes back-to-back against each other. We started with the carbon fuel Gen 6 and the Scout, and rode those. And then we did those again at the end so that we'd have a baseline established, and then get them another rep in later on. Now my fastest time actually came on my first go with the carbon fuel Gen 6, just over 32 seconds. And I was faster than you on the Scout for that first run on that. But then when we went back and did it a second time, you were down 31 3/4 second on both the Scout and the Gen 6 fuel. Just a tick faster on the Scout with the 27.5 wheels, but pretty interesting that kind of small playful bike that you're used to on the Scout, how that really translated into a lot of the same ride characteristics on the new Gen 6, but with the 29-inch wheels.
Yeah, as far as like the way they both rode pretty similarly for being very different bikes. They were both very playful. They were both very quick handling and snappy, but were very stable coming out of the worst corner on the course as well. But tires were a huge part of that as well, I think. The tires on the Scout were a little bit worn in and cold. The Maxxis tires, apparently they don't warm up, they take a while. The Bontrager tires on the fuel were tacky and very, very good grip. I don't think I ever slipped on any of those bikes.
Now, the other interesting thing is we'll call it the consistency that you had between the Carbon Gen 6 and the Alloy Gen 6. Your times were pretty comparable between those, especially on the first go around on those. And so frame material, at least for this course, didn't make a lot of difference. Weight on the bikes didn't make a lot of difference, and even component spec didn't change that a lot. It just the geometry handling on it was really what it amounted to on there.
One bike being half an inch longer than the other one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I will say I got slower as I went, kind of due to a confidence issue. The first lap around, I did snap a carbon brake lever off when I caught it on an e-bike box that was sitting on the floor. So got a little bit hesitant after that. And then I think on the Levo, there was a casualty around the back end of the course.
This is the only bike I may have washed out.
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
It was loud.
Yeah.
It was way louder than it was bad.
Any final thoughts?
No, I think all bikes are awesome, first and foremost. And I think what surprised me the most was just how similar they all were and how different they all were at the same time, basically. Being able to push each one into the corner and find the points where they slid out, or how similar of 27.5 and 29 were. It doesn't matter on a crit course.
Yeah. You know, we did this the right way by not having any kind of static test tire on these. You know, in order to compare them all equally, I'd like to say that it was a very fair shootout, and we're pretty pro level riders, so all of the results are what you would expect to get out of these particular bikes. Well, I don't know if you could get the same results that we get out of the bikes, because
many minutes of practice.
Obviously, yeah, we've had several people come in and try this course so far. Veteran riders from the area. One last night, we ate his lunch. Kyle went head to head with another race level competitor earlier today, and no contest. It was like a ghost chasing Pac-Man around the course. And then I think we both almost died this morning when we had somebody try out the course, and they kind of just stopped in front of us both. And
they were not confident.
They were not confident. They were not confident on their machine. So anyway, just goes to show you we're pros, and we own this course.
So come check it out. What were the times?
Quick update here. During my last monologue, I erroneously reported that I had beat Kyle on one of our head-to-heads, and in further reviewing the results, that's a flat-out lie, and I did not, in fact, beat him on that.
Flat-out lie.
This is Stash licking his nuts here at the Bearded Monkey. Stash, how do your nuts taste?